Welcome back to the Top 6 show, powered by BetVictor. The Premier League returns. It's been another grueling international break of boredom. Thank God for Newcastle's takeover, giving us something brilliant to talk about rather than bad takes and Twitter polls. The Premier League returns. I'm joined by a fantastic panel tonight, live on the air. So make sure you're smashing the like button. You subscribe to the Football Terrace. You're turning on the bell notifications. But I think maybe he's one of his debut on the BetVictor show. I'm not too sure. But Egal is back with us, ready to give us his thoughts and his feelings. We're joined by another Gooner. Now, Arsenal, of course, they're in the ascendancy. They're back, basically. Jess is going to be telling us all about that tonight. There is famous Jess from the West Coast. Next, we're going to move to the Man United boys that we've got here tonight. This guy's new haircut it's causing a frenzy to a point where Anita didn't recognize him for 47 minutes. 47 minutes she didn't recognize him for. Neeks is in the house looking ready, looking slick, beard looking good. We've also got KJ in the house tonight. It's kind of lethargic looking today. It's kind of cool, but he's looking a little lethargic, ready to go, ready to do his thing. But back on the show tonight, it's always a special occasion when the Queen returns to the Football Terrace. Anita is back here tonight, ready, and waiting and raring to go this evening. Raring to go. Make sure you hit that like and that share button, please, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this. How's everyone doing? We all good?
I'm all right. I'm good.
Good. Premier League is back. Who's excited? The first thing, Egal, I need to go to you. How excited are you? It's back, mate.
Terry, I've been losing my mind on football Twitter and everything that's going on over this past international break. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't been watching too much of it besides the Nations League final, so I've been quite bored. Squid Games kept me entertained, at least. That's the only thing that kept me entertained.
Squid Game's good, but even that's caused controversy on Twitter. Like last night, I saw this whole big thread, laughing at people that watched it with the English dubbed, voiceover. And it was sort of how dare you watch it like this? Well, I can't read I was like, wow, people who are bored during the international break fighting over how you watch Squid Game. It's a madness to me. But football Twitter has been mad, though. When you say that, Egal, what kind of things are you talking about?
Okay, so I literally was comparing Salah to Neymar a couple of weeks ago based on form. Who's better? People got mad. And then just yesterday, I think on Sports Bible, they did something where they compared Ronaldinho and Salah, and they said by the end of his career, we might compare these two, or we might think Salah's better. Something to do with modern players and former players. It was just a ridiculous comparison. In my opinion, it's a crime against football when you can start comparing Ronaldinho to current players. Just let's not do that.
I think when it comes to international breaks, people get bored, as you said. Usually you get a Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes debate, which we haven't had this international break, surprises me. You get a Drogba versus anyone who scored more than 100 goals in the league. So we have Vardy, and you start comparing Drogba to this and that.
Darren Bent.
I seen Honorary, obviously didn't score in finals. People just need to feel the time. But when I saw that Salah Ronaldinho one, it actually made me sick. I was thinking, how? Did I tweet? I said that's enough Twitter for me today. I couldn't. Ronaldinho, I like Salah. Salah's very good. I respect him. But Ronaldinho made not just me, but probably most people feel about football like no other player before, during, and after him has made fans feel. And Salah would never, ever, ever replicate that feeling when you see Ronaldinho on the pitch with the hair flowing and the buck teeth and always smiling. Yeah, that's disrespectful. I'm not gonna lie.
I wasn't a big fan.
I look, you're boring.
Well, you weren't a big fan of who? Ronaldinho.
You weren't a big fan of Ronaldinho.
Yeah, he knocked England out of the World Cup, and that's a write-off. I don't like you after that. I'm only joking. Yeah and no. As a footballer, I recognize the brilliance, and I remember being a kid because when I was younger, you very rarely got to see those kind of players play. And whenever it was the World Cup and you'd see the lineup come out and it was a camera pan to each player, when they did a national anthem, and it was just the excitement of getting to watch them play was massive. But
is it because you're an outputs guy and you like outputs more than anything else? And you're saying Ronaldinho aesthetically pleasing, and he's one of those guys where people.
No, I was joking. I think he's absolutely out of this world. I was just saying he knocked England out of World Cups. I don't like him. Like there's an
And
element of
even-
truth in that, but I recognise how good a player he is. Jeez.
Yeah, even in outputs, his outputs are still mad. So like when people say
Yeah, his
like,
outputs are
it doesn't matter about stats with Ronaldinho. No, he got them to back them up anyway, bro. You know what I mean?
If Ronaldinho, I've said this before, if Ronaldinho didn't have good stats, he wouldn't be loved how he is. If he had terrible stats, he'd be St. Maximin. Like that's what would happen. Like that's an exaggeration. No, but he would. The reason that Ronaldinho was loved is because he had all the skills, but he delivered at the end of it. If he did it all and then his cross went out for a throw-in, people would dislike him. Like you have to have both to be. When you think about the guys at the very top of the game, even the Zidanes and the Iniestas, who statistically, where they played, they didn't have the huge numbers. They were so influential in their team winning. They delivered something at the end of all their brilliance. Like that's why Ronaldinho is so special. Like all jokes aside, comparing it, I love Mo Salah, but that comparison is honestly, it's like comparing Anthony Joshua to Muhammad Ali.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Who made you fall in love with football, Jess? What player?
Ronaldinho. Yeah, he's my favorite player. Like I saw that little thing going around with the Salah thing, and I just thought there's no argument there, really, is there? It's hard to compare players from different eras when we kind of know that now it's about efficiency, which Mo Salah really is. And then you had players back in the day that were a little bit more flary, but Ronaldinho was obviously special because he had the efficiency aspect of it as well. But nobody watches Mo Salah for the entertainment aspect. He's a very direct player that kind of just, I don't want to say he's a push, like just kick it past you and run type, but he's definitely not doing anything that Ronaldinho was doing on the pitch at that time. So yeah, no real comparison there. Like at all, really.
You know what happened?
Even with kick and run, that's entertaining. What Gareth Bale did to Mark Bartra was kick and run, but it's the most amazing kick and run I've ever seen in my life. It is entertaining. It is.
Yeah, like I'm entertained by Salah. It's just like it's legacy things. There's certain players you don't compare. I think any of the current, barring Messi and Ronaldo, who are near the end, any of the players that are in the middle of their careers right now, you don't compare any of them to Ronaldinho. You don't compare a 25-year-old midfielder right now to Paul Scholes. You don't compare a centre-back who's having 1.5 years at being world-class to the best two centre-backs in the Premier League. There's just people, the legacy thing is, and the maddest thing is you've got to have longevity to have a legacy. And you can't compare someone who's got 5, 6, 7 years after playing against somebody who's finished their career. You can ask single seasons. So you can do, was R9's greatest ever season better than Messi's greatest ever season? I think those kind of comparisons can happen because you're singling it down to one period in time. But this whole comparing legacies and everything else is mad. And like they've gone one step too far. Like I get the Mo Salah prop at the minute. They're trying to build him up to win big play individual awards and everything else, but they've stepped on a landmine with this one. Like they stepped on a landmine. It's crazy.
I guess my question is kind of like, it depends on what era you're growing up in. And I guess so it's kind of like Ronaldinho, R9, Thierry Henry for a certain period of time. And then it kind of became Ronaldo and Messi when they are done with their careers, which could be within the next, like, let's say 5 years or so. It's going to be interesting to see who those next players are that step up and kind of become the players that people want to be. I know they're trying to push the Haaland and Mbappe thing, but I'm not quite sure that they're those players just yet. So it'll be interesting to see who's the next players that make people want to play,
I think Kylian might be that player already. Like, for me, he is the guy to take the mantle. For what he's done in his career so far, how old is he now? 22, maybe 23? I think it's amazing. Like he goes through a little bit of a dip from here, and obviously everyone comes down on him because his expectations all the way up. But to win a World Cup and score in the World Cup final at the age that he did, the Nations League performance just the other day was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant in the game. For me, he's the one. Haaland, yeah, he'll score a lot of goals, but I don't think he's gonna. If we're talking all-round play, I think Kylian Mbappe is the one. Haaland will be maybe the Lewandowski, the Gerd Muller, the Ruben Nistelrooy to an extent of the next era. But Kylian Mbappe, I think he would light up the pitch.
I think it's about what's cool and contemporary though as well, like in terms of what matches with popular culture. So certain players are just boring, and Haaland strikes me as being a bit like Harry Kane's like really boring. I can't imagine Harry Kane inspiring people to do, and I don't mean it in a horrible way. There's nothing about I think you almost need to have the ability.
He doesn't have
a
trip, man.
Yeah, but there's something on the like if Harry Kane had the kind of swagger of Jack Grealish or James Maddison, he'd be looked at in a very different way from a popular culture point of view as well. And I think that when you think of Thierry Henry's and David Beckham's and Ronaldinho's, Ronaldo's, these players, they inspired people because it was that combination of both those things. And I feel like Haaland's got the on-field ability, but he's like a robot, and there's nothing cool about a robot.
I don't know. I disagree. I don't think Haaland's like a robot. I think there's so much more to Haaland that we don't see. And the one thing that I've always been saying about the current game right now is that it's not aggressive enough. Like the players, they're not aggressive enough. They're not in your face enough. They don't have that kind of shithousery. Erling Haaland, he has all of that. He has the vibes. He has the personality. He's arrogant as hell. And listen, like, watch him on like on a week-to-week basis in the Bundesliga. That guy, he moves mad. Like I cannot compare him to Harry Kane, because I feel like Harry Kane's a bit more reserved. Like when he scores, he does his usual like high 10 type of thing. But when Haaland scores, Haaland will go to the camera and be like, that's
but
you get what I'm saying? Like
the reason Haaland,
the
only person y'all can really compare him to that I can see him being like is Zlatan. But even with the Zlatan thing, Zlatan is cooler than him because he did a quite, was it Taekwondo? He did some kind of martial art. He's got the whole lion thing. He's got all that about him. With Haaland, he's got that about him, but he's also a flipping weirdo. So you know what I mean? Like
Zlatan was a weirdo.
True. Zlatan wasn't weird though. He wasn't weird.
Zlatan was so weird. Zlatan was so weird. LeBron James sent him a jersey. He signed it and sent it back to him.
That's because every top class, like the best of the best footballers, are more famous than the best basketball players, because football's a bigger global sport. And that's true. Forget what he's like.
Relax. Zlatan's not more famous than LeBron James.
100% easy.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Easy. Nah, he's not. It's really not.
No, he is.
Not.
More people watch football than watch basketball. Therefore,
but does Zlatan have a film?
LeBron is more than basketball anyway. Like,
Messi
and Ronaldo, I'll get it. Not LeBron James.
That's because Terry doesn't watch any other sport, so he doesn't rate their superstar.
I
watch darts and I watch snooker.
Okay, you don't watch any American sports.
Red flag. Those are not sports.
Well, they are sports. Firstly, secondly, I don't actually watch them. I was only winding up. I like to wind up netball fans about their little sport. Like, it's great. Like, I love it. I love it. They're like, oh, do you know what I mean? World champions when you only play yourselves. What's all that about? It's a madness to me. I only joke it. Do you know what I love those when you say those things? It's like wrestling. I love winding up wrestling fans. Why do you watch basically like EastEnders in Lycra? And they're like, what are you talking about? It's real. They really jump off ladders. Like, I know they do. Calm down. Oh, we do it all the time in the studio, don't we, Cage, with Louis? Like he gets, you can tell his body starts to contort if you say that wrestling's not real. He gets so annoyed by it.
Wait, listen.
Man's a grown man.
I never grew up with wrestling. Like, I never watched it. The only thing I watched was The Rock every now and then, and that was it. But I never was into it like that. So when I see man of my age going in hard and fighting for wrestling, I'm like, that's for you guys. That's your battle. That's your fight. I'm not getting involved because I have no idea what the hell's going on. All I know is The Rock, and that's it.
Matt, do you know what it is? Yeah,
go home, bro.
Go home. My view is this: like, if they want to row with me, I'm gonna tag team in my partner for this one. I'm gonna let Freya or Archie go debate, because that's the levels there. Straight up. I'm only joking. Chill out. Right? Do you see what happens? This is international Twitter here. It's just manifested. We've got onto wrestling. But the Premier League is back this weekend. Lots of big games. The title race for me really heats up because it's one of those weekends where we've all got very winnable games. We're all playing weaker teams than ourselves. There's no big six or top six clash, as it were. There's lots to delve into. The first game we're going to look at, though, is going to be the newcomers. They're kind of taking the Premier League by storm. Brentford versus Chelsea. We're going to get views. We're going to get opinions. We're going to see what the Bet Victor odds are saying on that. Make sure you smash the like and share button. Let's do it. Brentford, Chelsea. Anita, how are you feeling about this game? Because it's a potential banana skin, isn't it?
Man, with all the rubbish I spoke when Arsenal lost to Brentford, we need to win. We need to win. I'm not going to lie. After the performance Brentford gave against Liverpool, I've been looking at their team a bit like, okay, I knew you were good, but I didn't think you were this good, you know? So at the moment, I'm a bit on the fence about it. But at the same time, Chelsea have to win. I know we're going to win. It's an easy 3 points in hindsight or in the larger scale of things. But I am a bit cautious that if we do lose, I will need to bring myself on the terrace and kind of take some heat from Arsenal fans because, yeah, I've been watching them. I'm thinking I may have taken them for granted a little bit at the start of the season. Hopefully we get the 3 points. If we don't, I won't be too mad at it. As long as we don't lose, that's all.
You know what?
But
Yeah,
Anthony Taylor, you got to remember that part too. He might send off one of your players.
Can you imagine? That is also a problem. Do you know we have lost the most games under refereeing of Anthony Taylor ever? We've lost the most games, Chelsea Football Club, and he's sent off more of our players than any other team. Why is that, Anthony? Why is that? He hates us. There is an agenda there that we need to cramp down on. Like, it's actually ridiculous. Going into this match, I'm more frightened of the referee than I am of the opposition. Why is that? That is an absolute
It's because
problem.
you just seen what he did in the Nations League final, where it's clearly outside.
But the thing is, yeah, if it's Chelsea, it's a problem. It's a big problem. I'm telling you. Shout! We need to watch that match. And I'm telling you, any wrong move that Anthony Taylor makes, I've got my excuses. You think I haven't got that? I'm writing them
You're
down.
getting it ready.
Yeah, you know what, go ahead and layer those excuses.
How are we sitting here? I'm sorry. How are we sitting here writing up excuses for Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool about a new promoted side? Yeah, we're showing these newly promoted sides way too much respect. I like the fact that Brentford came up. I like the fact that they play the football the way they do. I like all of that, the story, first season, all of that. But you're still newly promoted, and all three of them, Norwich, flipping Brentford, who else came up? Watford, all three of them should be getting pammed by the top 6 teams.
But the thing is,
hands down, no respect, but they're doing well. No, you've just come here. Let me show you the levels. That's what it should be. But right now,
that's not what's happening with Brentford, though. They're not getting pammed by the top. When Wolverhampton came to the Premier League and they weren't getting pammed, it's the same thing. We're learning from our mistakes. Yeah, when Sheffield United came up, it was the same thing. We're learning from our mistakes, my dear.
Nah, I don't care, man. We need to. You're talking about there's no aggression in the players no more. There's no arrogance no more. The big teams did have the arrogance. When these little teams are coming, they need to learn your place in the Premier League.
You guys haven't played them yet, have you? Man,
no, and when we do, I expect them to get pumped.
Keep the same energy, please.
No, I know. Literally, no. You don't understand. When we lost to Bournemouth when they first came up, I was pissed. Huddersfield, pissed. All these little teams coming up, Watford, pissed. All these newly promoted sides that come up, I don't care. You can play nice football. You've got cool players. I like your story. I don't care. You are new to the Premier League, and you should learn. You're going to learn today. That should be the mantra.
Yeah, there are no excuses. No, listen, I know Egal, right, is loved. I've been watching his little face light up with Anita talking about how good that is. He's like, oh, it gets my Arsenal out of jail. Oh, my Arsenal, my little Arsenal. KJ is bang on. Yes, they can beat you. And yes, things can happen. But at the end of the day, pound for pound, there is no reason why Chelsea shouldn't be winning. If you get outplayed by them on the day, we know that can happen. That is the only word you can use to describe it is embarrassment. Because pound for pound, your squad's worth more than their new stadium.
I really hope that Jess is writing this down so she can come back and score the both of you when this is over. Because you guys are saying this now, but when you lot played them,
listen, if we lose to Brentford, I'll be pissed.
That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Yeah. I'll say embarrassing.
The word embarrassment.
Listen, if we lose to Brentford, Manchester United, if you lose to Brentford, it's an embarrassment. absolute embarrassment.
But they're not that bad.
It's not about being bad. You're not listening to me.
What? It's because they came up from a
Yes.
lower league than us.
Yeah, it's like Ania,
think-
when you was in school and you're in year 8, year 9, year 10, are you gonna let some little year 7 come bad you up?
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna
But-
lie. Wait, hold on. I'm not gonna lie. If that year 7's got vim and has nothing to lose, yes.
Nah, not in my class. Hang on a minute though. Just on football for a minute though. So Man United losing to Aston Villa is not embarrassing. It isn't banterable. It's acceptable and normal then, because Villa are better than Brentford. They've proven that in the last few years. So that's not a bad result then, are we saying?
Listen,
What
it's the
I'm
manner,
saying-
it's the manner that you lose always.
Hold
So the way
on.
you guys lost,
And the way we lost is we dominated the game, conceded a last-minute goal. You got battered from pillar to post the whole game. So what do you mean manner?
you didn't even let me finish my point. It's the manner that you lose. The penalty, being known for a team that always scores penalty, and the player who always scores the penalties skies it in the final minutes to draw the game. That's why it's banter, but not because you lost. People were bantering Bruno for missing the penalty.
So okay, so if Man United lose to any team that's sort of like top 10 and above this season, your response to the Gooner is going to be, "Oh, it's fair. So it's normal."
No, I didn't say that. What I'm saying is I feel like everyone here is discrediting the factor of Brentford coming up. It's a new stadium. It's the first time in the Premier League. All these times that they face, every time they face a Liverpool, a Manchester United, a Chelsea, they're going to be up for it. And if you guys face them away from home, guess what? They've already beaten Arsenal. They got a 3-3 draw against a team that won the Champions League and the league just recently. Chelsea, yes, they are a great team, but they're going to struggle. It's going to be a 2-1. They might win. It's going to be a squeaky bum time goal at the end of the game. And that's what I think Chelsea's going to do. It's going to be a 2-1 game.
Fair enough. So listen, so what we're gonna do is take a look at the odds here, right? So we've got these up on the screen. 5-1 for Brentford to get. Who fancies 5-1 on Brentford to win? They're so good. They're so good. They're so good. 5-1.
They're so good, and it shouldn't matter if they win because it's not embarrassing, even though they're
Listen. Let's cut the semantics. Let's just do Chelsea win. I beg.
Chelsea win.
Come on.
I'm definitely putting that into my accumulator. Of course, viewers, you can sign up to your free Bet Victor account now. The links for that are in the description below. Always read the terms and conditions. Set yourself limits, and always make sure you gamble responsibly. If you need any help with any of that, there are multiple links within the app for you to be referred to for them to help support you moving forward. But if you bet responsibly and you can afford to lose a little bit of money and have a little bit of fun having a flutter, get it done now. Bet £5 and get a free £30 bet. We're going to put Chelsea here, a Chelsea win, into the accumulator. You can see it there. It's banked. We're going to move on and speak about some of the other previews coming up this weekend as well. You Arsenal fans have let standards drop so far. It's unbelievable. We'll get on to you guys later. Sorry, Neeks. Go on, bruv.
Is Lukaku fit, Ania? Because he went home from the Nations League with muscle fatigue, whatever that means.
Listen, we find out during the press conference. We find out. I know N'Golo Kante's back. Timo Werner is in top goal scoring form. So even if Lukaku is unfit,
North Macedonia.
You've got Kante back. Ballon d'Or, Jorginho.
Ballon d'Or, George.
You've got Timo Werner the Burner. Ballon d'Or
George. I like that actually. Ballon George just works well actually. Ballon George.
Your Ballon George. Hey, listen, you got all of that. So it is embarrassing if you guys listen.
You know what? I can't wait.
I'm gonna cut the cap here. I'm gonna cut the cap.
It's more game run start. You win easy.
It will be embarrassing if we lose because this is a game for us to lose. Like we have to go into this game thinking we're gonna win. We are a better side than Brentford. Terry, you're right. Like our entire team probably cost the same amount as their stadium. You know, like it's one of them ones where we go into it saying that we're gonna win, but at the same time, I cannot set myself up for disappointment. What happened against Liverpool? Yeah, you see my heart. My heart was doing pitter patter for Liverpool. Imagine what it's going to be doing for Chelsea. Please, I would rather put my mind at ease and say,
"My God, do you know how much their new stadium cost to build?
Oh no, how much?
71 million. Literally,
that's like Kai Havertz.
Kai Havertz is more expensive than their stadium. Egal's like, oh, they've got a new stadium, bro. They've got a player whose right foot's worth more than their stadium. Jeez.
Oh man.
Listen. Yeah. We're going to move on. We're going to talk Leicester, Manchester United next. Probably the biggest game of the weekend. Ollie's tough time is ahead of him now. It's going to be big. Hit the like and share button. Let's go. Neeks, Leicester versus Manchester United. Ollie's under big pressure. He's got Varane, and Harry Maguire looking like they're both out. Give me your thoughts about this game.
I think this game is so important. And it's not just important in isolation, it being a game that we just have to win because we've had a couple poor results in a row. Lost to Aston Villa, drew with Everton. But I think this game here, it plays a massive part in, I guess, setting up the run of fixtures we have up until the next international break, but also even beyond the month after that. Our away form is very, very good. I think we're still unbeaten for how long away from home. We talk about Ollie George. When things are tough, he comes through, blah, blah, blah. Well, if we lose this unbeaten record at the time when we need him to come through, that could spiral out of control. I think this game is bigger than just even the 3 points on the day. I think it's important for Ollie's future at Man United and ultimately our season, because if we have a bad run over the next month and a half, 2 months, then write the season off and possibly write off Ollie as a Man United manager over that period. Leicester are a bit up and down. I mean, I think they've had a decent start to the season based on results, but they're not playing anywhere near as good as they have in previous years. Vardy scoring goals, but they're dropping some silly points. They are conceding a few goals. I think Johnny Evans is out. Obviously, Fofana's out. So they are struggling a bit at the back. I think the fact this is away from home will probably have more counterattacks in this game than all the home games that we had recently, Everton and Aston Villa, which will play into our hands. Ronaldo's on the back of a hat-trick against the mighty Luxembourg. So I'm confident. I'm confident going in this. Maybe there's a bit of unsettlement with the whole Brendan Rodgers story, potentially going Newcastle, etc. And potentially we can feed on that. But Maguire and Varane being out and Vardy in the form that he is always tough. But there's a lot of Man United fans who think that Maguire's not good enough, Lindelof's better, Bailly's better. Well, here we are. Bailly, Lindelof. Go on, do your thing.
We're back to square one. This is what it started with. He's bought Maguire, he's bought Varane, and we're back to Lindelof and Bailly. How? Like, how is this even flipping happening right now? Flipping out. Listen, I am stressed. I'm not stressed about the game, this game specifically. I am stressed about what it could flipping lead to, bro. This could lead to absolute pandemonium in the fan base. It already is very mad right now. But anyhow we do not win this game, it is going to be flipping peak, bro. Absolutely peak. And then we've got Liverpool after that, Spurs after that, Man City after that. Yo, listen, we need this team to pick up its form. We need to happen. The first couple of months, that should have been good amount of points. Win most of the games, maybe a draw here, maybe a draw there. But you've won most of your games. Set yourself up nice for this month where you can start to drop points because they're tough games. But now, Ollie being Ollie and this squad being this squad makes it even harder for themselves by losing points to Aston Villa, Southampton, and Everton. And now it's all on the wire now, because if Ollie does not get at least 2 wins, a draw and a loss, I think he's getting sacked, bro.
Egal.
Yes.
What's your take?
I was on this exact same show in the final minutes a couple weeks ago, and I said to you, Terry, you're going to beat Villarreal and you're going to go on a circus and you're going to drop points going forward. And your schedule, you should be very afraid. KJ just came on and just echoed the exact same concerns that I had a couple weeks ago, which you guys overlooked. Now, what I'm going to say is Manchester United versus Leicester. You guys are very unfortunate that you have two of your best center backs out, and Leicester are not in the best of form, but Jamie Vardy is in good form. So they're going up against one of the most informed strikers in a team that just has their defense just shaken up by 2 of their best players being out in their defense. I think this is going to be a game that has a lot of goals in it. I think it's going to end up, you're going to drop more points this game. And I don't know if you guys are going to lose, but I guarantee you're at least going to drop 2 points.
It's an interesting thing. I mean, you did say that, mate. And I think where you got challenged on that is you telling me that I should be afraid. And it's not really a fear. It's not really a fear thing for me. But I've got a bit of counselling here. I've got a lot of stuff going on in my life at the moment. Some of it's not very nice. It's all been made worse recently by Man United not winning. Like, thank God for Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury gave me a little bit of joy in my life at the weekend. I was like, oh, I'm so happy. I've literally gone through this run in the last month to 6 weeks. Of all the sports I watch, everyone I want to win keeps losing or getting knocked out or breaking their legs or crashing. Actually, I don't watch anything with cars in it, but do you know what I mean? And I need this win this weekend. I can't even explain to you how much I just need to be able to sit down late on a Saturday, put on match of the day and be like, my team wins. I need it. There's no, I just, Ollie, I'm going to send this. I'm going to DM it to Ollie. I don't know if his DMs are open. I'm going to find a way. Please win. I don't, by hook or by crook, Ollie, win. I cannot take it anymore. I want you sacked. I'm sorry, Ollie, this message is starting this way. I want you sacked. I don't think you're good enough. But please win for me. Please prove me wrong. Please beat Leicester. Please keep us in the title hunt. Just forget all that. I want one day of happiness. I haven't had a day of happiness in 6 weeks. I need you. Help me. Help me. I feel trapped. Anyway, can you get off the big camera now? I feel like I'm in a character. I need it. I really need it.
So are you okay?
No, I'm not. I'm stressed. I'm very stressed in life.
Wait, it's not even good. It's not even just a win, Terry. Because you know what our fan base is like. A win is not enough. You have just a clean win. No stress, bro.
My question is, how can Egal laugh after that, please? Like, you are evil.
I'm coughing.
No, you're laughing.
You're laughing.
Listen.
You know what, yeah?
You're laughing at his pain.
Wait,
oh my God.
also, you Arsenal fans, yeah? You Arsenal fans. I've been seeing you smiling throughout this entire section. Like you were saying to me about Brentford and that. I'm taking notes, innit? I'm taking notes.
Am I supposed to be frowning? What am I supposed to be doing?
Let me just say. We are going to lose to Leicester. That's why I think that I'm feeling the way I feel, because I feel like it's inevitable. I feel like I don't have the same feeling ahead of previous tough runs of form. And it's nothing to do with, I know Egal says, this is what's going to happen. You've got your prediction, fair play to you. Mine's more to do with what I'm seeing coming out of the club, things that are new. I feel like these players are losing faith very quickly in the setup in terms of coaching, management, team selections, and how we play, because it's now good enough to win. That's probably why this is hurting me more. But when we weren't good enough to win, I'm accepting of it. Like we spoke, Jess, earlier on our show, like, you can't make predictions based on how good you want your team to be. You can only predict things based on how good you are. So we'd go into these really tough runs before, and I'd be like, you know what? If we win a couple of games out of these next 4 or 5, I'm kind of happy. These teams are much better than us. When I look at our personnel, even with Varane out, we shouldn't be getting beat. We shouldn't be going into these games fearful. We should be going into these games excited. And I know there's always the nerves when match days build up, but I'm very jealous right now of Liverpool, Chelsea and City fans that go into these big clashes. They know they can lose, but they also like, we can win. I have no hope we can win. Like, I have zero hope. I open Pandora's box. All the crap's come out. Fuck it. Hope ain't in there. They ate hope. Hope's gone. Hope's finished. And yeah, Ollie, please, I beg you. I've nothing to say technical or tactical or I'm pleading with you. Man to man, father to father, United fans, win. Just win. Give me something good in my life. Something good in my life, please. Aside from my kids, they're amazing, right? My kids are good. They draw me little pictures like this. This is what Freya thinks I look like, by the way. Look at this. That's me. That's me.
Oi, that's so accurate, bro.
She said, I didn't give you hair. I was like, why? Because you're bald. I'm like, she's free.
She loves that. She loves that you're bald.
She loves. If I walk in the room, no cap. And sometimes I'm just in the room doing whatever, and she just starts cackling. Like, what are you laughing at? She says, yeah, you're bald. And then walks off. I'm like, oh my God. I know. It's crazy. Egal, your hair's falling out. You got it to come, bruv. You got it to come. Good luck. Do you know what I mean? You got it to come. It's hold on long as you can. But listen, Jess, what's your thoughts? What's happening in this game on Saturday?
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I think Ronaldo tapping. It's fine. It's going to be all right. Ollie's back is against the wall. He's going to pull it out. You're going to be fine. Ollie's going to keep his job. I have this weird feeling, not you guys in particular, but I think there are some Man United fans that are kind of like, well, if we do bad enough, maybe Ollie's going somewhere. He ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. You guys are going to beat Leicester. It's going to be one of those really tight games, but Ronaldo tap in at the end of the game. You guys are going to be like, oh, yay. And you're going to realize he's keeping his job. I mean, you guys are going to beat Leicester.
Let me just say as well, I'm asking for the win. If we play badly and scrape it, it's actually not going to improve my emotions. I can already feel it. You saying that, there's no joy. There's no joy. It's gone. It's gone.
Don't worry, I will celebrate for both.
Terry, that's what I told you. It can't just be a win. It has to be clean.
No, you guys are going to be celebrating.
Listen, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest. Like, Jess is right. Unless we lose to Leicester, Spurs, Liverpool, and Man City, Ollie's not going anywhere. So, there's no point being angry or upset or disappointed if the win isn't clean, because that's not gonna. It's not be like, oh, if we don't win clean, he's gone. If we do win clean, he's gonna stay. No, he ain't going anywhere unless we go through a terrible run of results.
Yeah, but Nicks, this is not for people. This is for me, bro.
This is what it is.
For me, I just want a clean win, just so I can sit there and be like, go on Twitter.
I feel like even if it isn't clean, if another one of the bigger teams or whatever scrapes it or loses, like let's say Chelsea doesn't beat Brentford, then because you'll feel like you're in solidarity with somebody else and look at it in somebody else. You know what I mean?
That's literally legit.
No, that's what y'all do.
That's what happened, yeah. When Chelsea lost to Man City, the fact that Man United didn't win that weekend, the fact that Liverpool didn't win that weekend, we were fine. We didn't care about the rest.
But you can be though.
But that's why the last couple of weeks. That's why I think, although there's been turmoil, that's why for me, Ollie's got away with it a little bit, because every weekend that we've dropped points in the last two, other title contenders have also dropped points. So there hasn't been a differential. If that hadn't have happened and we were suddenly sitting 6-7 points off the top right now, it would feel different. We're a stone throw away. And that's why the reason I need the performances there is because I do agree. I've got a feeling they may not sack him if he gets results. But if the performances don't start to improve, we can't achieve what I want to achieve this season, and that's the bit for me. But we're going to put a
person's going to get him sacked, Terry, and that's the manager's only going to get sacked if Cristiano Ronaldo and him have a falling out. In my opinion, as long as he has Cristiano Ronaldo and the best players in that team on his side, Ollie's going to still keep that job.
Yeah, but that like I said earlier, that's the bit for me where I feel like he'll lose that very quickly, because if the performances are not there and they're scraping wins, people like Ronaldo are old enough and long enough in the tooth to know we ain't winning the titles with this. And Ronaldo has got a desperation beyond Man United. He wants to score lots of goals and win the title with Man United this year, because he knows what that does for him in the Messi debate. I know that's his motivation. I can see it in him. Like right now, they've both played I think he's played 3 more games this whole season, club and country, than Messi. He's currently on 12 goals versus 5. Right now, he's like, right, I'm in a harder league. I'm older. I'm killing Messi. But he needs trophies to go with it. If the performances are not there, you saw how he was when he came up against Everton. 2 or 3 more weeks. I do agree with you to an extent. Like, I don't think it's literally going to be sack Ollie as I'm going to not play anymore. It won't be to that degree, but it'll definitely play a part. But I want your views, peeps, here. What are we going with? Leicester win, United win, or a draw? What are we saying in this one for the accumulator?
Draw.
I'm going for a United win. I don't know what you guys are worried about. Leicester are not in good form at the moment. They're still a bit shaky. Given they do score goals, I'll give them that. However, I feel like you've got enough firing power at the other end of your field. Despite Varane and Harry Maguire being injured, I think you'll be fine. So I'm going United win. Okay,
Jess, you've gone with a United win. We know that. So we've got 2 draws.
Sancho to score his first goal.
Love that. It made me very happy. Man, KJ, what am I putting it on? Because you got the deciding vote here. There's 2 draws. There's 2 United wins. What you saying, KJ?
Who's the 2 draws?
What did you say, Nix?
We're gonna win.
Oh, so we've got 3. So I've got to go United win then. It's already 3, so it's over the line. So I thought you said a draw, mate. Sorry.
Is the odds actually 1-1?
Yeah, evens we are to win the game.
Yeah, I'm surprised if that.
Bet against it, just to actually so you could potentially win something.
Yeah. But it's an accumulator, so it'll help. Listen, viewers, we want your take on it. Who's winning, Leicester or Manchester United? Get your comments in. Next up for us, We're talking Watford versus Liverpool. Remember, this was a team that beat their unbeaten run, that set them on that path to ruin for 12 months. Jess, Watford versus Liverpool. What's your take on this one?
Man, I kind of need Liverpool to start looking bad because the Liverpool fans are coming for my neck. I can feel them. They're right here like, we look really good and you were talking shit, but and they're not getting the injuries like I thought, but it's still early. But I think Liverpool are going to win this. I mean, Watford doesn't look great. They're a team just coming straight up. We already said, I don't think they're Brentford's level at all. I do think Brentford is better than them. But they do have some dangerous players, but I just think the way that Liverpool are playing right now, even though they're not as good defensively, they will outscore you. The amount of chances that they're creating is scary, and Salah is in like crazy form. I don't see anything other than a Liverpool win, and I see like a 3-0 type thing, maybe a 3-1, but they're going to score a lot of goals, and it's going to be probably a fun watch.
Yeah, I mean, it will be. I mean, Watford, they've started they're up and down team. They go through managers like I go through socks. Like, it's unbelievable how many they go through. Egal, from your point of view, can you see this being a potential banana skin for Liverpool, or is this just an absolute gimme?
This is a game where Liverpool are going to go in remembering that this team was the first team to beat them when they're undefeated in their league title. This is also a team that they're going to be going in without Fabinho and without Alisson, and they're going to have to be more switched on. I think Liverpool are going to go there with a point to prove. They're going to go and they're going to beat Watford convincingly 3 or 4-0 because they've done that. And just to let you guys know, over the last 6 games that Liverpool and Watford have played, Liverpool have scored 18 goals. In comparison to Watford's 6. So I think Watford are going to get wiped the floor with in this game. And I think Liverpool are going to take them to school, maybe 3 to 5-0 even possible.
Yeah, it could certainly be in that. Nietzsche, you're putting that face. Do you not think it's going to be that simple for them?
Listen, it's probably going to be simple, but I'm banking on Ranieri tax. Like, Ranieri's back. I'm really hoping that he turns this Watford side into, prime Leicester, something crazy to happen, because I need it. I can't have Liverpool breathing down Chelsea's neck like this. I cannot have it. I'm with you, Jess. People are going to come for my neck. They need to start looking bad. I'm hoping
quick,
like real quick, isn't it? Like, listen, it's a bit peak right now. So I'm hoping Ranieri has a head full of ideas. He's been with the squad this entire week. So I'm really hoping he just goes there, sets up extremely defensively, and takes home a draw. So I'm going to go for a draw, but it's more of a prayer than my actual belief.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love it to be a draw, because I look at this weekend and this is where for Liverpool, like with Liverpool, again, I was just saying, barring injuries, I just don't see where they're slipping up at the moment. Even when they've not been, like, you look back to the Chelsea game where they weren't great. I'm not saying it was luck that gave them the upper hand in that match, because obviously they were, they got the red card was a red card for Reece James, but they were being outplayed. I thought they were being dominated, and they've come through it. You could argue that they up against Man City in the first half in that game. They weren't particularly great, but City couldn't put them to bed. And then they obviously had a much better second half in that game. Liverpool just had that resilience this year, which was gone for a good 18 months or so, where it was just hard to beat them. I think if Watford are to get anything, they're going to have to be so clinical and then defend for their lives. And with the form that Mo Salah's in, I just can't see it. Like, Cage, how about yourself?
Same rules apply. Newly promoted side, top 6 team, you got to show them what in the Premier League. You have to slap them. They have to slap them, and they're going to. Like, there's no shadow of a doubt. Liverpool are going to show them levels like every top team should to these new kids coming into the Premier League. The way it is.
There we go. When we look at the odds on this one, ladies and gentlemen, I've got to get the odds up, of course, powered by Bet Victor. You can sign up to your free account in the description below. You look at the odds. We've got them on the screen as well. 3 to 10 on. It means it will cost you £10 in a singular bet to win 3. So you've got to risk 10 for 3 when it comes to this. I mean, they are very, very, very tight odds indeed there. They really, really are. We're all going to go for a Liverpool win though, aren't we?
And you go by 3 goals or more.
I don't know if we can add that into we can go to maybe we can find that somewhere in here. We can do like correct score.
Yeah.
Let's have a little look at. Then maybe that option. I don't know. Total goals you can put into the overall game, but I don't know to win by 3 or more. It's probably somewhere in here. But
Liverpool, there is. No, go up. Up there.
Yeah, Liverpool.
Over and under.
So yeah, Liverpool over 3.5 or under 3.5?
Over 3. I think Liverpool are going to wipe the floor with them.
I'll take your bet then. So Liverpool over 3.5 goals. At least that gives us some decent odds there. That gives us some decent odds in relation to that. So we'll see what happens with it. Viewers, we want your take. We want your views. We want your opinions. Smash that like and that share button. Next up, we're talking Arsenal Palace. Egal, I know you're a very happy, very, very happy Arsenal fan indeed at the moment. Very confident in the direction that your club is going in. You take on Palace. Of course, Patrick Vieira returning to Arsenal's home ground for this game. How are you feeling ahead of this match? And do you feel like you should be getting the win?
I feel really good, Terry. I'm not going to lie to you. We got 10 points out of our last 4 games. That a lot of people before that would have been surprised if we were sitting here today saying that. And we now have another 4 games before the next international break, I'm assuming, or 5 games. I forget exactly how many. And with this Crystal Palace game at home, for what is it? The 3rd game that we're going to be at home since I'm right. The 3rd game that we're going to be at home since. No, 4th game. 4th game we're going to be at home since the new season where fans are back in the stadium. I think we're going to show Crystal Palace that we still are the Arsenal to a certain degree. And at home we play a different way. And in order to come to our house to beat us, it's going to be tough. We might concede a goal, but with the way our defense has been looking, I put us to keep a clean sheet and probably win this game quite convincingly by at least 2 goals.
Ooh, at least 2 goals.
Yeah,
you're going like you've got Mo Salah or something. What's going
no.
on?
The way we've been playing defensively, we have not been conceding too many goals since we've gotten this new back 4 and goalkeeper in the helm. And the way that we've been playing at home shows that COVID might have affected how we've been playing at home last season. Because not having fans in the stadium definitely did not help a lot of teams, and there was a lot more losses at home than in Premier League history. So I'm banking that our home fans being there, getting behind the team, and backing the team will help them win this game quite convincingly.
But I mean, you've only had 2 games at home to speak about. One against Norwich and one against Spurs. Now the Spurs game, of course, that was very impressive. I didn't watch the Norwich game. It was 1-0. 1-0. And I'm like, is that convincing to say, yeah, we're going to go and beat Crystal Palace by 2+, 3+ goals? I don't know. I don't know if it's that convincing. And you say you got 10 points from your last 4 games. No one really expected it. Okay, but I would expect you to beat Norwich. And I would expect you to beat Burnley. And I would expect you to beat Brighton. That's 9 points. You didn't actually beat Brighton. It was Spurs that you beat. So, yeah, Arsenal should be beating Palace at home, but I don't think the whole beat and convincing by at least 2 goals when Zaha's on form, Edouard's on form. I think.
Wait. So 2 goals on form. 2 goals from each player is on form. I'm confused.
Edouard's played like 2 games. I think he scored 2 goals in 2 minutes. They're on form. They're playing well. That's what I mean by form. And I'm not saying they're the best players in the league. But they're on. I think it's going to be a close game. I could see another. If Arsenal win, which I'm not 100% sure, but you should, I could easily see a 1-goal victory, 2-1, or even just 1-0. I think it's going to be a close game.
Okay.
Jess, do you share the same level of confidence that Egal has?
Not really. We've kind of already talked about this before on the other show, but in my predictions, I have this as a draw. I think Crystal Palace has drawn their last, 4 out of their last 5 games have been a draw. And although we got good results, we didn't play very well in 2 out of the last 4 games. I would say Burnley and Brighton were bad performances. Good performance against a really bad Spurs team and an okay performance against Norwich. We had 2.5 XG and we scored 1 goal. So for me, it's kind of like to think that we're going to outscore Crystal Palace by 2 goals. I think For a team that only has created 6 big chances this entire season and only has 5 goals, I don't know what has changed from 2 weeks ago till now to make anybody think that we're going to go and batter anybody. I do think that obviously we can beat Crystal Palace. We beat them the last time that we played them. I don't think they're all that great, but I do think that we lack goals, and I have this as a draw. I just see a draw at home against a team that's going to be up for it. If Vieira watched Brighton play us, he'll say press us to death. We haven't figured out an answer for the press. We haven't figured out an answer for goals. We haven't figured out an answer for a lot of things. And I think it's still inconclusive what level this team is at. Would I be surprised if we won? No. But would I be surprised if we drew? No. Like, I think this is more of a 1-1 draw, in my opinion. You know, but we should be beating Crystal Palace. But again, this team is not up at the level. And I think we all kind of know that.
Okay, I just want to say this, Jess. Crystal Palace have conceded 2 goals in their last 5 away Premier League games. They failed to win any of their last 5 Premier League away games. So in that case, I would expect us to minimum get the draw, but I think we're going to win because of how poor they've been. Everyone's saying how they're playing now. Guys, this is a team that's on 7 points that has won 1 game and drawn 4 games this season. I don't think it's that impressive.
You know what it is? It's kind of looking at their progression. They're getting better and better within the games as well. That's kind of what I kind of understand the reservations, because they are relatively a new bunch of people coming together, and it's going to take time for them to kind of connect and come together and play the football that Patrick Vieira actually wants them to play. But you can see improvements. You can see them getting better. You can see Conor Gallagher is running the midfield riot, you know. So there's people like Conor Gallagher, Edwards, Zaha in that team that can cause problems. Again, I go into this expecting Arsenal to win, especially because it's a home match, basically a London derby. I expect Arsenal to always come out on top. However, you can't ignore their improvements within their last 5 matches. Even though they've drawn 4, lost 1, the improvement is still evident. And the improvement on Arsenal, that you guys are moving kind of like at the same level. Not that you are on the same level club-wise, but your improvements are going at the same pace.
Yeah, I think that's really, really fair. I think, you know, the way Palace came back against Leicester, you know, they've got finishes in their team. They were unlucky to go 2-0 down. It was caught against the run of play. The Brighton game, a really bad last-minute clearance from their goalkeeper. And I'm not saying that they're not goals conceded. You have to look at all those things. And I know that's they were at home. I know that was at home as opposed to being away. But they've got the ability. My fear, if I was on Arsenal, should be favourites for this game. 100%. You've got better players. You've got more money spent, etc. My fear as a Gooner would be, and as a rival, I'm going to be intrigued about this game. Every game I've seen you in, barring the Tottenham game, because they didn't really create anything until you went 2 or 3-0 up. But in every game I've seen you in, Norwich had some openings. Palace are better than Norwich, in my opinion. Burnley could have scored goals if they had better finishers. Brighton, if they had a gunman on the pitch, they beat you, in my opinion, because they had the ball in the right areas. If the ball's falling to the Zahas and the Edwards and everybody in the right areas, like it has in recent games, they're going to score goals unless Ramsdale pulls off absolute madnesses. I do think this is a lot closer than you kind of made it sound, Egal. Although you still may win, I don't think it's going to be this kind of, we're going to, you know, take them to school, batter them, nice, easy, comfortable Monday night football. I think it could be a really tough grind. I still would predict an Arsenal win, but I'm thinking something like a 2-1, a 3-2. I think it might be quite a high goal scoring game.
I think if we're honest, really quick, KJ, I just want to be like, most of you guys, I know you probably watch more than just your team play. There's been very few games, barring like maybe a Man City game here or there, or a Liverpool game here and there, where the team that's supposed to be way better absolutely destroyed the other team. It's close. It's close. Yeah. The margins are tight. So when I think that a close game against a Crystal Palace team that's improving, to me, because I know we're not at the level of Liverpool and Man City, you know, and Chelsea, I would expect a close game, but we still should be able to win based on our quality. Do I think we could probably draw the game? Yeah, I do. I just feel a draw. But this idea that if it's a close game and the other team gets chances, then you've done something wrong. Every single game that I kind of watch, it's pretty freaking close. And if you had 2 inches here or you were a little bit quicker there, things could change on its head. So that's just how I view the Premier League. I think it's a lot closer than people make it to seem. Like Brentford, they're not playing like a relegation
There we
side.
go. Brentford.
No. You guys, hold on. My point to that is that they're better than probably the bottom 5 teams, like easily, just like Leeds were. That doesn't mean it's an excuse to lose to them. But what I'm saying is that when you look at the quality of the league, it's getting better, so the games are getting tighter and the margins are fine, so it's going to be close. Unless you're Liverpool, Chelsea, or Man City, games will be a lot closer than they probably should be on paper.
I think you guys are just discrediting the progress you guys have made in the last few weeks. You just got to keep believing in these young players, and you just come through because you've got 2 of the best players in the league, 2 best young players in the league, some of the best defenders in the league. So you guys are just discrediting Arsenal's progress, and you should believe in Egal's right. No, Egal's right. Egal's right.
Sorry. 1 second, KJ. Who's the
that
2 of the best young players in the league and the best defenders?
Oh, wait. They've got Tommy Austin's come in, amazing. Gabriel and Ben White, solid partnership. Tierney is one of the best left backs in the league, and then you've got Saka and Smith Rowe, who are going to be better than Mason Mount. So, like, it's fine. It's fine.
And Kai Havertz.
And Kai Havertz, yeah. And Kai Havertz. So
let's be real. Let's be real. Just really quick, Anita. Kai Havertz, I think, scored like 4 goals last season, and he was worth 72 million. Saka scored more than him. So for me, I think there's still questions around Kai Havertz, and I think he's a good comp for somebody that is probably not as good as you guys made him out to seem, and there's probably a little bit of Bundesliga tax there for what he was doing in that league. But I do think Saka is one of the best young players in the league. I think when we went over that, it's pretty clear that he is. He's not the best, but he's one of them.
No, he said 2. I was wondering who the 2 were.
I think.
Wait. Firstly, just really quickly, the Kai Havertz thing. I can understand that. That's fine. I can totally understand that. I still think Saka is probably one of the best youngsters of his age in this league. 100%. I can understand that. I can take that. It's the ESR Mason Mount comparison that I had to shake my head to. I'm not hearing that. That's not feasible for me at all. You're talking about Ballon d'Or Mace, comparing him to ESR. We're not doing that. We're not doing that today. Maybe give me to the end of the season, maybe even to the end of next season, then we can talk about it. But right now, let's not do that. The Kai Havertz shouts, I hear it. I don't really defend Kai Havertz as much anymore because I'm kind of with you in a sense where you look at the kid and you think, yeah, you've got a lot of talent on you. You are very creative, etc., etc. But then you look at the output and you're thinking your talent and your output is not matching up. I've been frustrated with him quite a lot this season already, and I'm just waiting for him to kind of be unlocked, quote unquote, because it's becoming a bit frustrating where we've got Romelu Lukaku there and Tuchel has preferred to put Kai Havertz next to him. And I have literally been crying out for Timo Werner or Callum Hudson-Odoi to replace Kai Havertz because he just looks so lethargic at the moment. It's quite weird. But then you look at him for Germany and he's a different person. So it's just a weird dynamic. But again,
if he hadn't scored that Champions League final goal, I think you guys, a lot of your fans would have a different
100%.
idea about him. I don't think that he's really talented, but a lot of players, they come to another league and then the level is different. So for me, I would back Saka and ESR against Havertz. Mount, I rate him so highly, and I think his ceiling is, he's not even anywhere near ceiling. So it'd be hard for me to say ESR against him. But yeah, I know somebody said something about Kai Havertz, and I thought I back that one for sure. But I back the young players, but they're inconsistent. So I expect them to.
But that's why I say you guys are being a bit harsh, and therefore you guys need to.
We're gonna go on to the odds now. We're gonna go on to the odds. What are we betting on here? I assume we're betting then on an Arsenal home win.
That's the only team you can back on this one.
Arsenal gone into that. We're gonna look at the slip here. So there is a 4-stake accumulator, 13-1 are the odds on that, what we put together, which isn't too bad. I'm going to put a little £5 on that. Gives me a return of £72 if that comes in, as you can see there. Chelsea to win, United to win, Liverpool to win, but there's got to be over 3.5 goals in the game in total, and then Arsenal to win their match. That comes in at, say, 13-1 odds. You can put these this bet together yourself. All the links are in the description below. Make sure you sign up and get your account sorted as well. I'm placing that bet, as you can see, live on the air. Now that is done. That is in place. That is over. People, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Really appreciate you coming on and having your say and previewing this weekend ahead. Viewers, always a massive pleasure indeed. Make sure you've smashed the like button before you leave and you've subscribed. But until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again.